You can probably tell by looking around me that I'm no longer in my cabin in the mountains. In fact, I am no longer in Europe. I'm currently on a ferry taking me and Vilk and Odyssey, my truck, to a different continent because we're about to embark on a new expedition and I am so excited. I'm so excited.
In case you're new here, here's a little context. 5 years ago, I bought this Land Rover Defender, named her Odyssey, turned her into an expedition rig, drove across the Balkans into Turkey and Ukraine, then shipped her to Mexico, drove around North America for a while, all the way to the north of Alaska, shipped her back to Europe, did a couple of winter expeditions to the Arctic Circle, and now we're here. It's been 3 years since I did a proper long overland journey, and that was in the United States. So I'm ready for a new expedition, and I can't wait to tell you where I'm going.
For the last few months, I've been thinking long and hard about my options for the winter. One part of me really wanted to stay in my cabin in the mountains to really enjoy the winter. It just felt like such a beautiful, free life, but at the same time, there was something inside me that was nudging me and urging me to pick up and leave and go to a place that I've been wanting to go to for a little while now. So I decided to listen to that little nomadic voice within, and I packed up my stuff. I said goodbye to my grandparents, which is never easy, and I left.
This time, setting off on an expedition feels different because this time I have a home that I'm leaving behind. I don't think my horse Shaman will miss me too much, but I know that I will miss him and my family and of course my land. But at the same time, I am so ready for a new adventure. Stick around until the end of the episode for the full route reveal.
First border crossing of the trip from Poland into Germany. Starting to feel more and more real.
Started driving south through Germany, which was mostly a lot of highway driving and not many incidents, aside from one.
Well, this was fun. Just arrived in Dresden, which is a German city, and I couldn't find a public toilet anywhere, so I just went and peed behind some shops on the grass by the rail tracks. Not my most glamorous look, but we got it done. You do it all the time, buddy, don't you? No shame in it, right? Peeing on the grass. Yeah?
Oh, and there was also the moment that I drove through a blizzard and could barely see anything and thought I would die, but obviously I didn't film that because I thought I was gonna die. Eventually I drove through Switzerland and into Italy, and Italy is where my expedition truly begins.
Because Italy sits on the Mediterranean Sea, and my plan is to take a ferry across the sea all the way from Europe to Africa. But things are about to get a little complicated, so bear with me.
So this is what happened. I reached the port city of Genova, where I would be embarking on my ferry, and I had so many errands to run there that I completely lost track of time. I had to get cash out, I had to get food, I had to get seasickness medication. Thankfully, the Italians are really good about people bringing dogs into pharmacies.
Okay, I'm safe. 2 days on the ferry. I think I can do it.
And eventually, of course, I got stuck in traffic while on my way to the port. It was not good. I thought I was running really late.
I'm arriving half an hour after the check-in starts, so let's see how that goes. Made it to the port. Oh, that was really stressful. Oh, Tangier, yes. There's a sign. We're about to go on the ferry. You're gonna be on the sea for 2 days. Isn't that so crazy? Yeah? Okay, I think they're starting to board, which is worrying because I haven't really thought about what I need to bring for the 2 days that we're gonna be at sea. But obviously, there's a lot, such as all my stuff. Well, not all my stuff, but like a bunch of my stuff. I guess most of it is here, so that's good. Vilk's stuff, which is just as much as my stuff. Some treats for Vilk. And obviously we'll need his toys, because he's gonna get so bored.
It's my first time taking the ferry from Europe to Africa, so I really didn't know what to expect, and I had no idea what to do, which became very clear very quickly when I noticed that all the cars around me that were parked here were empty. There was nobody in them. Where was everyone? I eventually ran over to a guard that was standing nearby, and he told me that I really needed to hurry and go and check myself in and do immigration and customs before boarding the ferry. So that's what I did. Of course, I brought Vilk along, and he was such a good boy.
So I was one of the last people in line, of course. I queued up for about 2 hours to get all the paperwork out of the way, and then it was time to board the ship with Odyssey.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're checked in. We went through passport control, back in the truck, ready to embark. Oh.
So this is the ship that's supposed to take us to Africa. Little did I know, it wouldn't.
So much stuff.
Us for the next 2 days. Oh, we've got a window. That's cool. What do you think? So weird, huh? I was kind of ready to settle in for the night, ready to get into my PJs, when all of a sudden I started hearing this announcement go off on the PA system.
المسافرين ولا على السفينة عندما يكون هناك أخبار جديدة سوف نخبركم. شكرا.
So, they just announced via the intercom that there is a fire on board. Un petit incendie, they said in French. A little fire. They said not to worry, don't panic, it's not dangerous. Well, this is starting out really well. Don't panic, it's just a little fire. Just a little fire. Don't panic, no stress. Apparently the firefighters are putting it out right now. What the fuck is this?
And then things got even more interesting.
We have to leave?
Yeah, we need to leave now.
Oh, okay, come in. Holy shit. There's a fire. Yeah. Yes.
All passengers were told to leave our cabins immediately and head towards
I
safety.
can definitely smell smoke.
I could see smoke in the corridors, I could smell smoke, there were people running around like crazy. I had no idea what was happening, but we were all the passengers were escorted into this room, this cafeteria, where we were supposed to just wait.
So it's a little confusing because one guy was just telling me that, oh, it's fine, it's nothing serious, like, it's all good. Like one of the crew guys. Meanwhile, I hear another dude shouting in Italian, like, no.
I'm not sure what we were waiting for, but I'm guessing we were waiting for the firefighters to put out the fire that was on our boat.
So they've just announced something in Italian and Arabic, but I could barely hear it, so I don't really understand what's going on, but people are getting up and leaving. So I'm guessing we're going back to our rooms? Yeah, we'll keep passing.
Attention, please be informed all the passengers that all the problems they are in control.
And we inform you that tomorrow morning we will give you news about our trip. Thank you.
I guess that means that everything's under control, but we're not going anywhere tonight. I'm guessing we're staying in Geneva tonight. This is an interesting start to the journey.
We're back.
This trip started with a lot of unknowns, but there is one thing that I know I can rely on, and that's the partner of today's video, sLOVEnia. sLOVEnia is a simple eSIM app that helps you stay connected no matter where you are in over 200 places in the world. If you don't know what an eSIM is, it's a digital SIM card that allows you to stay connected and access the internet and use your phone without putting anything inside your phone physically. One of the super convenient things about sLOVEnia is that you can download the app and buy the mobile data plan ahead of your travel, so before you even get to the country that you're traveling to. In my instance, I've already bought and prepared my data plan from Morocco. I know exactly which plan I'm getting, and I can activate it the second I cross the border in Morocco. When you use a trusted eSIM provider like sLOVEnia, you're avoiding potential scams, which are so common across the world. You're saving time because you don't have to rush around the city without internet trying to look for a place that you can buy a SIM card. You can get 24/7 support from the sLOVEnia team, and you only have to download the app once. So if you're a frequent traveler, it saves you so much time in the long run. And as a little perk, you can now get an exclusive 15% off your next sLOVEnia eSIM data plan. Download the sLOVEnia app and use my code at checkout.
Good morning. It is day 2 on the ferry, and since last night's fire fiasco, we have made exactly 0 progress. Let me show you. We are still right here at the port. Meanwhile, the ship that was opposite our ship has long gone, and we are still here. I'm supposed to be like halfway down the Mediterranean Sea at this point. How do you feel about all of this, buddy? Yeah, I agree. Well, in all fairness, they did give us some updates. Apparently, there's another ship coming for us at some point this afternoon. So we're going to move from this ship, which is apparently unable to sail. And we're going to move to a different ship with all of our stuff and all of our cars. And that ship is going to take us to Africa. All in all, I mean, I'm not unhappy about it all. We are delayed by probably about 24 hours, but I'm kind of relieved that the fire didn't happen out on the open sea. I feel like that would have been a lot worse. So yeah, we've just been kind of chilling here. I've been reading, working a little bit since there's, still cell phone signal from the city, and have been playing outside with Vilk. But one of the downsides of the ship being down is that they switched off the heating, so it's been really cold in here. Last night I slept under all the blankets and in all of my clothes and my jumper because it was so cold. So yeah, Vilk hasn't been complaining, really. He loves the cold. Hey buddy, have you been enjoying it? You been enjoying the cold? You just scratching? Come here. Come here. Come warm my feet. Get on. Yes, good boy. Good boy. They're just announcing what's going to happen next.
We inform you that the transshipment operation to the vessel GMV Atlas will take place as follows. First phase, all the passengers will be transferred.
I guess that means that we're being moved to a different ship at some point very soon. You want to go to a different ship? You think it's going to be nicer than this one? You think they're going to have more treats? Going to have more food? Yeah? Yeah, I think so too. I should probably stop packing because I have no idea how, but in the last 12 hours I have made a massive mess. Very typical, very chaotic. Let's pack so we don't have to rush. I think we're ready to go. At this point, we're about 20 hours behind our original schedule, and we're being moved to a different ship. That means all passengers, all cargo, all vehicles need to be moved from this ship to another.
So we get to do all of this all over again. Excellent.
It's always interesting to see who takes these long-distance ferries as opposed to a plane. In this instance, there were some snowbirds traveling south for the winter in their camper vans, but the vast majority of passengers were Moroccan families traveling with a lot of stuff. Turns out, one person and one big dog also involves traveling with a lot of stuff.
Got so much stuff with me, got the dog with me. He's definitely getting impatient. And I totally get him because I'm getting impatient too.
If it was just me traveling solo, this would all be a non-issue and a stress-free journey pretty much. Of course, traveling with a dog changes everything. And aside from having to plan ahead, you also need to navigate spaces with him where a lot of people are scared of big dogs. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. But I was keen to finally get us inside a quiet cabin.
Aha! I think it's slightly bigger than the previous cabin we had. Does it have a view? Yes! Perfect! Holy shit, what a day. Not bad, hey?
We have officially started moving again. And I'm also really hoping that there's no more emergencies on board. No more fires, because from now on, for the next 50 hours, we're going to be in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Not near a port. So may everything go well from now on. I'm so excited to be moving. Yes. But the whole fire thing wasn't really the end of the drama. On that first night on the second ferry, once we actually got out of the port, things got really rough.
It is 4 a.m. and I've been up for the last 2 hours because the sea is so rough and the boat just keeps going like this, up and down, up and down. I get terribly seasick, so I had to stuff myself full of pills. Oh, this does not feel good.
A windstorm swept over the Mediterranean Sea and rocked our ship so hard that everyone was puking, including this girl, who gets terribly, terribly seasick, and no amount of medication works on me in cases like this. So that was a great first night on the sea.
It's getting light outside, but the boat is still rocking like crazy. I just puked. I'm not gonna give you any more details on that, and I think Fielk needs to go, so I'm not excited to go outside in this weather, in these conditions, but I really think that he needs to go, so that means I need to go with him.
Wet floors everywhere, which means that the staff or them have been busy cleaning up people's puke, and I've been hearing people throwing up in the neighboring cabins. Not fun. This is pretty horrific. Go potty. Go potty. So obviously you can have your dog in your cabin on this ship, but there's also these kennels here. See? Right there, and then right here. And honestly, I'm just wondering, how could anyone let their dog stay in one of these kennels, especially when there's a storm happening like this? They'd be freaking terrified. There aren't any dogs in the kennels right now, which is a good thing, but terrifying. Oh, buddy, are you scared? I know, this is not fun. Okay, let's go back. I think I need to lay down.
eventually, gradually, things got a little bit better, and I was able to get out of bed, go for walks with Vilk, go do stuff with Vilk, and even eat a little bit.
A dog is a big responsibility, but a working breed is a responsibility on steroids. So aside from walks, I had to find new ways to keep folk busy. So of course we played, we learned some new tricks, and at least one of us wasn't feeling seasick.
Right now, it's my 4th day on the ferry. I was supposed to be in Morocco last night, but I'm only arriving tomorrow morning. So I should probably tell you a little bit about the expedition that I have planned. So here's the plan. Once I reach Morocco, which should hopefully be tomorrow morning, the plan is to spend a couple of months driving through the Sahara Desert. I don't know, I've just had this image stuck in my mind for a while of like me and Vilk and Odyssey, all 3 of us, camping under a beautiful starry sky in a place where there's no one and nothing, just sand and silence. And in order to do that, we have quite a bit of driving to do. So once we hit Morocco, we're gonna drive about 3,000 kilometers, that's about 2,000 miles, down some really crazy off-road tracks and back roads. Once we're out of Morocco, we're gonna hit Western Sahara and drive all the way south there. After that, we're gonna enter the country of Mauritania, which is 90% desert. So crazy. It's one of the least densely populated countries on Earth. I've been there before, but now I'll actually have a vehicle to really make use of all that desert. So we've got some pretty wild off-road adventures planned there. I am so excited about this one. I have called it Expedition Sahara. Let's keep it nice and simple. And honestly, I'm kind of going in without much of a plan, but in a way, that's kind of what I need right now. Just wake up and go.
So I hope you stick around, because the next couple of months are going to be dusty, wild, and full of adventure. Just the girl, her dog, and her truck on a big journey to the Sahara.